Can you believe it's been nearly 20 years since fashion guru Susannah Constantine and her work wife Trinny arrived on our screens on a mission to make all of us confident in our clothes and proud of our bodies, every part of our bodies.
One of those things that is meant to massage your boobs and make them bigger.
It's going to
Yeah,
suck.
it's going to suck and massage.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. It's got a telephone.
Hello?
I feel so many women, if they're in the right bra, do not need to resort to this.
And she's here right now, Susannah Constantine. Hello!
Hi, how are you?
Really, really good. How are you? How's lockdown been for you? And have you managed to catch up with Trinny during lockdown?
I have indeed, and seeing that, my God, 20 years, that makes me feel so old. I can't believe it's nearly 20 years, but you're right. But yes, we've been in touch often.
So obviously it must have been really, really hard for you when you guys just were no longer on the telly, because you must have been joined at the hip. You really struggled after that, didn't you?
Yes, it was because we'd been Trinny and Susannah for so many years, and you know, I'd walk through an airport and get recognised, but people wouldn't say, "Oh, look, there's Susannah." They go, "Oh, look, there's Trinny and Susannah," and suddenly it was like we weren't. You know, I didn't have my other half, and so I had to re-identify myself as a single person, as just Susannah, and I found that very difficult. It was almost like I went into mourning.
Oh, gosh.
Would you liken it a bit to a midlife crisis?
Yeah.
I guess so. I think it kind of came, that the two things came at the same time. So it was a bit of a double whammy, and I lost my identity totally, because it was almost like I lived as someone else for 15 years, whatever it was, and came out the other side. And it was like, who the hell am I? So it was like a divorce where we are still best friends at the end of it.
Lovely. I think what's so sad about that, when you hear you say that, Susannah, is obviously you were so associated with making women feel brilliant about themselves, and it just makes my heart hurt to think that when that ended for you, you ended up feeling like so many of the women that you were trying to help.
It's absolutely true, Andrea, and I you know, when that finished, I did turn into the woman who Trinny and I always had helped, and I lost all my confidence. I put on weight. My self-worth was on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And but then I did this thing for Sport Relief where I had to get very fit very quickly, and that turned my life around.
Did
Yeah.
it? And you'd always dreamed of going back to your writing, which you did.
Yes.
And do you think that saved you?
That's like my saviour. I mean, that has been my saviour. It's my escape. It's my freedom. And it's where I feel so happy when I'm at my computer and I'm writing. And like you say, it's what I've always enjoyed doing. And I feel so blessed now to have found a second career almost.
I want to ask you, Susannah, as a singer-songwriter, I use lots of different genres for my inspiration. I understand that you like grime and garage when you're writing. Can you explain, please?
I do. I love kind of Chastened Status, Hybrid Minds, which is a little bit kind of more mellow. I think it's kind of like having a writing trainer kicking my ass when I'm working, because you've got that beat, and I'm almost like typing to the beat, and I don't, you know, and some of the lyrics are so incredible. So you have someone like Dave, and in particular his song
Dave.
Black, which is
Dave.
the lyrics to that are some of the most beautiful I've ever heard. And so it kind of allows me to waft off. But yeah, it's that impetus, it's that beat that keeps me going.
Can you tell us a little bit about your latest novel then, Susannah? What can we expect?
Well, Denise, it's called Summer in Mayfair, and it's the sequel to the first novel I wrote, which was called After the Snow. And After the Snow was very much semi-autobiographical, because I grew up in the countryside. My mother was severely manic depressive, and I had to go, when she was sectioned, I would have to go and stay in this castle where I was bullied by the Duchess there through silence. And so the first one was seeing mental illness and the aristocracy in the 60s through the eyes of an 11-year-old girl. And in the second book, Esme, she's called, goes to London, leaving her dysfunctional family behind to go and find herself. And the kind of backdrop for it is the emerging gay scene in 1979 London and the art world at that time. And she's left this painting by this man who was actually her mother's lover. And she's left this painting, which she goes to get restored. And it's how she finds her identity through this painting.
Now, obviously, you drew really heavily on your own life for the first book, and it sounds like you've sort of dipped into aspects of your personal life for this book, because you've also included some real-life people in there. Elton John features, and also Princess Margaret as well.
Yes, and they both Elton and Princess Margaret have had, oh, look, there we go, a big impact on my life, and in a very positive way. And Princess Margaret features in the first book, and when my mum was sick, she was someone I could turn to, and she was a strong and powerful influence who I would rely on quite a lot. And then Elton is in the second book, not gratuitously, but because in 1979 he was, although I didn't know him at that time, he was very much collecting the period of art that is sold in the gallery that Esme is working in. Yeah. So he would have been a client.
I think what's so wonderful is you've sort of woven in sort of fact and fiction so beautifully.
Sounds brilliant.
There's something we need to ask you before you go, because obviously, you know, you're known as, you know, Trinny and Susannah, making people look so beautiful in their clothes, but you are not adverse to a wardrobe malfunction. I know it's led to a podcast in itself, which is wonderful. But tell us about your, how should I call it, your wardrobe malfunction in front of Prince Philip.
Well, my wardrobe malfunction was spectacular. And I was sitting between him and I think it was Prince Edward at one of their 21st balls at Windsor Castle. And I was wearing this beautiful Valentino dress that my dad had bought me, felt $1 million. And I was like eating my soup. And suddenly I felt this kind of draft around my chest area, and I looked down, and the straps had broken, and both my boobs had come out, and they literally kind of almost fell into the soup. And then, without me saying anything, this butler came over with a silver salver and 2 safety pins, and he just picked up my straps. And I scooped my boobs back into my dress, and he pinned me at the back, and no one said a thing. So from there came my wardrobe malfunction, which I'm now doing on Zoom. Yeah.
I love that. I know that's proper posh, isn't it? You know, you have boobs in the soup and nobody even bats an eyelid. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
So true. Nothing shocks.
Nothing shocks. The book is out now. It's called Summer in Mayfair, and it's been an absolute delight as ever talking to you, Susannah. Have a lovely rest of the day. Lovely to talk to you.
All right, you take care, girls.
All right.
Lovely to see you. Bye.